Jeff Gordon finished 8th in Sunday's Subway Fresh Fit 500 race in Phoenix. Now he is addressing fans at the NOKIA Plaza in downtown Los Angeles.
Hi folks, how are you? Thank you for coming out.
Morning, Jeff. I'd also like to invite Parker Bohn, the third up here.
Absolutely.
Professional bowler. You and him actually go way back, is my understanding.
We do go way back. I'm trying to think how long we've been doing our bowling tournament there in Indianapolis. Do you know how long we've been doing it, Parker? But we do a charity bowling tournament, and we were very fortunate to hook up with Parker, and he was very gracious to come and support us and help us and actually bring some professionalism to the event.
Well, I try to do my share, but more importantly, I believe that your bowling event's been going on for 10 years now, and you've raised over $1.5, almost $2 million for a local children's hospital in the Indianapolis area. That's something that's outstanding.
Fortunately, not due to your bowling skills.
No, has nothing to do with my bowling skills. If it did, then we'd be in trouble. So, yeah, it's a great event for a great cause, and we're very fortunate to have Parker support us.
It's my understanding, now everybody here knows you and knows your career and how you won your first championship 2 years into it, and your first crew chief, Ray Evernham, was kind of a mad scientist engineer. We'll get back to him.
He's mad for sure. I don't know if I call him a scientist, but he's a heck of a crew chief and understands engineering like nobody did.
And he got his start in racing, if I understand it correctly, with Parker's grandfather. Someplace
They were acquaintances for sure. Back on the East Coast, and I'll say that my grandfather, he was the racer around the track, not to Jeff's extent, obviously, but Ray and my grandfather kind of hooked up and were good friends for a long, long time.
I don't think I ever knew that before. This is like news to me. How did I miss this?
You hang with me, buddy.
I'm telling you. Ray gets all kinds of information.
I'll tell you one more. Ray told me your first event that I went to with you, he came over.
Hold on a second. Somebody's taking your charge, Jeff.
Somebody figured out how to get that steering wheel on.
Well, they had to move it. It's either that or get a ticket.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So Ray actually told me when he came up to your first event, he said he had to come there mainly to meet me because he said honestly, he didn't think the name Parker Bohn was coincidental. He didn't think there could be two of them. So he knew one Parker Bohn. He said he had to come meet the other one to see if there was any relation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
Everybody here knows that in the course of your 4 championships and your driving career and all the records you've set, the crew chief has always been very important. Ray was the first one to get you set off that way, and we'll get back to him again in a moment. But Alan Gustafson and you seem to have a mental connection that...
Yeah, he's kind of like my younger brother that I never had. You know, he and I are definitely, you know, really in sync. And it's true, you know, it takes, that crew chief is so important. You know, you look at other sports and you look at the coach or you look at, you know, the person that really is guiding the entire team. And while the driver gets a lot of credit for being behind the wheel, you know, it's the crew chief that's in it day in and day out, putting long hours in, working with the people, understanding the engineering, what it takes to build the cars, make them go faster, build the team up, and keep all the glue together. And so I've got a great one in Alan Gustafson, and you know, he reminds me a lot of Ray. Ray was a special individual that wanted it more than anybody else and was willing to put that effort in to whatever it took. And that's what Chad Canals has. That's what all great crew chiefs along the way that you've seen in the history have, and that's what Alan has. And you know, so yes, there were moments. One year at Charlotte, and this is the time. I think it's the only time that Ray ever got in trouble, or he got caught. But we broke a right front hub, and the car went in the wall. And I think the wheel fell off, and so it hurt. But NASCAR, they took it, and when they got it back, they realized that that was not the manufactured part that it was supposed to be, because they had lightened it up from the inside where you couldn't see it. And he got in a lot of trouble for that. Back then, they didn't do points, and they didn't do suspensions and all that stuff. So I think we just got fined a bunch of money. But these days, they take it to another level with the points and you know, the fines and suspensions. So yeah, I've been with the crew chief that's gotten in trouble. And you know what? I'm not saying that I want that to happen all the time, but if my crew chief's not pushing the envelope like that, then I know I'm not going to win races because I know what we're up against. So I encourage the crew chiefs to push as hard as they can, but you got to know when to push and when not, and when to hold back.
Well, congratulations, your 8th place finish yesterday, starting back in the pack.
Yeah, I mean, it was an accomplishment only because of where we started. You know, it wasn't a finish I felt like we were capable of. We were capable of a little bit more. In the middle part of the race, I thought we had one of the best cars, but we just one time on a restart. I know this is hard to believe. Curb push right in the back of me. I don't know how it happened. And
that wouldn't happen.
And it damaged the back of the car pretty bad, so the car was never quite the same after that.
Must have been a wave of gravity came through or something.
Yeah, so to finish 8th, starting 30th, some of the issues we dealt with, I was pretty happy with that.
You have a very tight team behind you, and it came real close last year. I think it's going to be a good one for you this year.
I'm excited. I'm really excited this year.
We have a number of the fans here have submitted questions. Jose Salio, probably doesn't pronounce his name that way, Jose. Do you get nervous when the race is about to begin?
You know, I've been doing this for a long, long time, so I wouldn't call it nervous. I mean, there are certain events like Daytona. It's such a big event. There's a lot of excitement and energy around that event. And so I think you get a little bit more pumped up, you know, for that event, and because it's the first race of the year. But I would say, other than that, it's pretty much business as usual. It's pretty calm, and I try to go into every race with the same mindset, you know, without setting too high of expectations, but also having enough confidence in what's about to happen, what we have. And so, you know, when you've been doing it for 20 years, I think you don't really get butterflies or nerves. At least I don't.
Is it like going into your quiet sanctum, your man cave?
And those of you who have been to NASCAR races, if you've ever, either from the grandstands, you know, looking down, or if you've been in the garage area on pit road, Parker certainly has been there. It's chaos prior to the race. So it's the only sport I know where you're surrounded by distractions. I mean, thousands by the second of just cameras and autographs and pictures, and you're trying to put your focus into that race. And so I've just learned over the years, don't even try. I don't even try to be focused on the race until I get in the car. And once I get in the car, it's all business. You know, you put the helmet on, you flip the switch, and it literally is a switch. And if you aren't capable of doing that, you're not going to be very successful in NASCAR, because that's why our sport is as big as it is, because the access the fans have, they can be right there, you know, moments before you get in the car, and I think that's very cool. So I don't ever want to take that away. I just want to know how to manage it the best I can so I can still do my job.
Ella and Leo at home now, besides Ingrid, how long can you sit someplace before you start getting all antsy? Parker here is going to Paris tomorrow, aren't you?
No, that's 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. He's got 2 weeks before. How long?
This poor guy, he just came from Croatia to be here, and they lost his luggage. And I mean, so, you know, that's commitment. I love it. But you talk about a busy schedule. Here I was talking about my schedule this week. I leave here, I go to Orlando, I go to Nashville, then I'm going to Vegas, and that's all by Thursday. But this guy's been doing it all the way around the world, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, but I can actually go home tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to be home for a couple of hours tonight.
Do you find yourself, though, like you actually had an off season, even though you went overseas, do you find that you get kind of antsy to get back? Is it to be with the team, or?
Well, as you mentioned, I have a 5-year-old and a 19-month-old.
Yeah.
So that it's like when I want to go on vacation, then the season starts back up. So it is so much fun at home right now, but it's also, you know, very hectic and keeps me going. So I was never a coffee drinker until our second child came. And now, you know, I'm basically just looking for the coffee machine button every morning.
Wait till they get a little older.
It only gets better, right? But yeah, I can't wait to get home, because I found out that Leo's teething. So I need to help my wife out, because she's been dealing with the teething and the 5-year-old. So things are exciting at home right now. But now, you know, I love the off season because I get to spend more quality time with the family. I mean, I get to spend a lot of time with them because of my schedule, the way it works. So, you know, I'm racing every weekend, but during the week, if I'm not traveling like a crazy week like this, I actually do get to spend, you know, time with taking them to school and hanging out with my kids and my wife. So I'm very fortunate. But during the off season, it's real quality time where you can take, you know, a week of where I don't do anything else but just hang out with them, and I love that. It's so amazing. But I do get a little antsy. I love the competition. I love the sport, and it's fun when you start getting to Daytona and testing and getting ramped back up for the season.
That's a good man. Yeah.
Yeah.